So the smoke, this is going to be a nice touch as well. Let's move on to the smoke. Let's get a file, and on that file, grab the smoke. Really interesting pass that we have here. And this is going to be added. So we'll create a new layer. This is much simpler than the previous because we're not adding glow to the smoke, of course. As you can see, we can now add this. It's going to give us an extra layer on top of everything. Of course, everything is kind of already very bright. So when we compare before and after, we do get a bit more of a diffusion kind of feel on things, but okay. It's definitely a good thing to have. But it's going to be more noticeable if we kind of darken things up. I can just show it to you if we apply an HSV here, just for testing purposes. Let's say I bring everything down, and you'll see that the smoke starts to be more visible. Okay, because we're adding, and if we kind of have everything lower, then when we add the smoke, it's going to be more visible. Okay, but the smoke is just a light touch. Let's go ahead and start fine-tuning everything to get the final touch. So I'm going to bring this down a bit more, the background. Here on the saturation, maybe not as much, but here 0.6. And here on the light, the amount of light that we're adding here, maybe not 8, but maybe 4. So we can have a bit more of that. And also the reflection. Here, the HSV for the reflection might be too strong. Just a small nudge, 14. And on this one, maybe 10. These are very small changes, but should be noticeable. Okay, between having and not having. Maybe this goes to 3. Finally, I'll leave this like this. So yeah, I think this is a better balance. Adjustment here, adjustment there to get to this point. Okay. One final layer of glow, gigantic glow to add to these rays. Maybe the rays are also kind of too strong. Let me see here. Maybe I can lower this a bit too. Yep. And here 0.8. Now this one I'm gonna leave it at 1. Maybe this one goes to 2. No, I think I'll leave it like this. Regarding the secondary rays, yep, I think looks better. So the final layer of glow that I wanted to add this is just grabbing this, grabbing the original ray, or we can even grab this one, and applying a lot of blur to this. Like I'll grab the original, so blur, a lot of blur, like 600 or something. Yeah, this is the kind of extra glow that I want to add to the final pass. Again, like I said, we can have several inputs here, so I'm gonna combine all of these, and you can see that if we, without this and with that, so it adds that extra layer here, that extra piece of glow, maybe even more. Let's go with 800. We can also apply an HSV before, so it's stronger. Yeah, now it's kind of burning up closer to the edges as well. That's nice. Yep. And I guess we're pretty much done. One thing I'd like to recommend is notice how we have so much more information than we're actually using on the frame. So you can use a crop, and that's just gonna get rid of everything that you have outside. The other thing is, if you want to kind of darken this side and have this side be brighter, an extra thing you can use is you can create a ramp, and the ramp is basically just this, and you can essentially multiply one thing by the other. Let's say we choose on the points, you have 0.0, which is black. Let's change the color to something like 0.3, 0.45, and 0.5. And the other one can be just white. And if we multiply one thing with the other, you'll see we get a bit brighter, a bit darker here, brighter on this side. So it's a nice trick if you want to add that extra pass. Okay. Yeah, I'll use an ease in, and that way it's just more towards the corner. Okay, so without and with, that way it's just more on that side.